Don Dowden, Lieutenant, United States Navy. The USS Okanogan, I believe, was named after a county. Actually, it's a rather famous county, an area of apple growing area up in the state of Washington, and it's right on the Canadian border. I've not been there. I've been pretty close to there, but that's my understanding of where it was. Our particular ships, and most of them, I think a lot of them were named after areas like that. One, I was a CIC officer, which meant I was in charge of that division of radarmen and to keep people manning the, we always had an officer and at least 2 or 3 enlisted men in CIC. So that was it. And then the other job was, of course, on the bridge when when I was officer of the deck. Well, of course, we were all members of what we call the wardroom mess, which meant that we sort of bought into the wardroom mess, and then we got fed very well, believe me, comparatively speaking. And and as far as our sleeping quarters, we just had these, of course, officers had fairly good little staterooms, but they were not anything to speak of, but they were bunk beds. We had 2, I think, as I remember, bottom and top. And whenever you got a new roommate and you were senior to him, you always took the bottom. So anyway, but they were adequate. The only time they were uncomfortable really was whenever we would go what we call darkened ship, and they would close all the hatches and you couldn't have anything open. And so then it was rather uncomfortable at times. And we did that from time to time. Of course, as officers, we all stood watches. My job as CIC officer was to make sure that the CIC, which was, again, the radar, the plotting of where we were and where we were going and this kind of thing, on a day-to-day basis, had to do that. But then also we would serve watches on the bridge, which is where you navigate and run the boat. And you would become, if you qualified, you would become a qualified officer of the deck. And the officer of the deck, you had a designation, officer of the deck underway, which I was one of those. And then you had officer of the deck in formation, which I wasn't, because I was not on there long enough really to get that much experience from it. But those were, you'd be serving those watches, all whenever we were underway. Yep.